Hi guys, I'm Ruby, and on behalf of Jenny and Joanne, the other third year students, we have created this video to help break down pathogenesis of gingivitis. This will be one of 3 videos.
Passing exams. Some of the previous students have found it difficult to study pathogenesis as it is such a diverse topic.
Patient education. It is important to help educate patients, as helping them understand can motivate them to improve their oral health.
Signs and symptoms. We need to be able to clinically identify the difference between disease and health. The early detection of signs and symptoms can lead to early intervention.
Distinguishing the different severities. Determining the different severities can help a practitioner choose the course of action for treatment.
But sometimes the gingiva may appear healthy, but is masked by smoking.
Therefore, a thorough medical history should be taken. Understanding disease progression. You have to know if the patient's disease is reversible or irreversible. For example, gingivitis can be reversed with good oral hygiene. However, periodontitis cannot be reversed as the bone is already lost and cannot reform its original height.
To be honest, it's really hard to get your head around it.
But not if you put the effort in. Patients ask heaps of questions. Many patients are quite motivated to improve their oral health and will ask numerous questions to help them understand.
Most importantly, who is susceptible? A few examples are people who smoke, people with systemic diseases such as diabetes, immune-compromised patients, and those on certain medications. There are people with hormonal cycles, different ages, genders, and genetics.
Just remember, these are a few, and there's a long list.
Every tooth in the mouth is surrounded by a sulcus and a junctional epithelium. For example, let's look at tooth 3-6. The junctional epithelium surrounds the whole tooth. It's located at the bottom of the sulcus, at the gingival margins, and at the interdental coal area. The coal area is a depression of interdental oral mucosa, joining the buccal and lingual papillae underneath the contact point. Under ideal conditions, the sulcus extends from the CEJ to the gingival margins, averaging 2 mm in depth.
Just drawing the tooth, and here's the junctional epithelium and the sulcus, and the rest of the gingiva. Here's the rete ridges, and we've got the bone, the fibres, and the periodontal ligament connecting the tooth to the bone.
And this area is the sulcular epithelium, which lines the sulcus, and at the very bottom of the sulcus is the junctional epithelium. The junctional epithelium is an important interface between the sulcus, which is populated with bacteria, and the underlying periodontal structures. The junctional epithelium surface is a non-keratinized epithelial layer, which functions mainly as an antimicrobial defense barrier and minimally as a physical barrier. This means it cannot prevent the development of gingival and periodontal lesions. Therefore, the junctional epithelium synthesizes a variety of molecules to combat against the bacteria and its products.
Here is a very hangry lysosomal cell. They are found in large numbers in the junctional epithelium and contain enzymes which help break down bacteria in the junctional epithelium. Junctional epithelium cells are interconnected by a few desmosomes and occasionally by gap junctions. Fluid fills the intercellular spaces, which vary in width and are wider in the junctional epithelium compared to the oral, gingival, or succular epithelium. These features account for the junctional epithelium's advanced permeability. This permeability allows for transport of numerous immune cells to move in and out of the junctional epithelium. However, this is also the pathway where bacterial endotoxins enters through. A variety of different mononuclear leukocytes are located in these interstitial spaces. Mononuclear leukocytes, such as neutrophils, also known as PMNs, are found in small amounts in the junctional epithelium near to the tooth surface. Also present in small numbers are lymphocytes, macrophages, and antigen-presenting cells such as dendritic cells. These little green characters are bacteria. As you can see, some of them have migrated into the sulcus and others have moved into the JE. Just to note that the whole bacteria doesn't enter into the junctional epithelium, just the outside layer. As you can see, there are some lysosomal cells and small amounts of neutrophils in the junctional epithelium. There are already a small number of neutrophils in the sulcus as a first line of defense, and more enter into the junctional epithelium from the underlying tissues when there is a bacterial challenge. Bacterial defense. The defense against microorganisms is an antimicrobial defense. Tissue homeostasis. The junctional epithelium has a unique structure and function which enables it to control the consistent microbial challenge. This is a balance between pro- and anti-inflammatory cytokines. An increase in pro-inflammatory cytokines tips the balance and causes inflammation, clinically seen as gingivitis. Permeability. The junctional epithelium has larger interstitial spaces compared to the oral or succular epithelium. This enables remarkable permeability. Permeability allows antimicrobial defense cells, such as neutrophils, into the sulcus and around the JE through the space between hemidesmosomes. Intercellular spaces provide a pathway for gingival fluid and leukocytes.
As we said previously, the junctional epithelium is not a strong physical barrier. The gingival crevicular fluid transports host immune cells to the gingival sulcus, which acts as the defense system. The flow rate is directly related to the degree of inflammation. The increased bacterial challenge increases the flow rate, which results in increased inflammation.
Important interface. The junctional epithelium is an important interface between the gingival sulcus, which contains bacteria, and the periodontal connective tissue that requires protection from bacteria. This is a gram-negative bacteria. In gingivitis, it is an aerobic bacteria called Streptococcus mutin, and its outer structure is covered in lipopolysaccharides, also known as LPS.
LPS, also known as lipopolysaccharide, which is also an endotoxin. LPS is a component of gram-negative bacteria cell wall. In gingivitis, these bacteria are called strep mutans.
LPS combines with other products such as plaque and biofilm, which drives the pathogenesis of gingivitis. In response to the invasion of LPS through the junctional epithelium, the immune system is activated and the JE releases pro-inflammatory cytokines. This is part 1 of 3 videos complete. We hope you enjoyed and understand the junctional epithelium a little bit better. Thank you.
The second year coordinator for the BOH, and I have with me our brand new second year students who have basically just finished first year. Students here today to give our new first year students some tips about how to survive BOH 1. So maybe we'll start with Lauren. If you could tell us, how did you feel when you first came to the university and started your BOH program?
So I came straight from high school. So coming to university was just a big change in general, but coming into this course was an even bigger change. I was really scared my first day, but the thing that I love about the course, and you'll find it as well, is because compared to other university courses, it's really tiny. So you get to know everyone really quick. So on my first day, I already made a few friends, and I felt better about it already. So that made it a lot easier.
Awesome. How about you guys?
Well, moving from a different state, I was very overwhelmed and I was really scared getting into, a new course, not coming from a dental background or anything, but the amount of support we were given by second years and just the people around us, the teachers as well, was just really overwhelming. It was so nice to get into it. It was really made it comfortable to get into.
What about you, Ebony?
Yeah, I feel the same. Very overwhelming because I had done university study before, but the level of work that was expected from us was a lot more in this degree. But I think the main thing is just staying organised, and from day one be organised, and it really just makes things so much easier for yourself for the rest of the year.
Fantastic. And last but not least, Sarah.
Yeah, I came from working a full-time job. Granted, it was in the dental industry, so I had a little bit of an advantage in terms of knowing some of the concepts and words and things like that. But just like Ebony said, it's just getting back into that workload and knowing what's expected of you. Definitely staying organised on top of it is something that the university and its faculty make really easy for first years.
So I'm going to ask you now to give us your top 3 tips, okay, for our new students starting the VOH program.
So one would be make your tutors your best friend. They will help you a lot. If you're not sure about something, and trust me, there will be things you're not sure of. There was for me. Your tutor's really great. You can just chuck them an email and they always respond, or in class, doesn't matter. Second point would be in any of your subjects, if they give you worksheets, do them. They are literally like the best thing, because if you do the worksheets, you know sort of the same questions that are going to be in your tests and exams, and that would be like my top tip probably. And thirdly, if you can, try and make like a group of people that you can like message and talk to. So I had a group of 3 friends, and we just like constantly messaged, and it was just really good.
I think my top 3 would be positive, be productive, and be present. It's really important to keep on top of all your work, so being productive when you get in class, doing those worksheets, oh my goodness, yes, and being positive about being in this course. It's a real privilege to be accepted into VOH, and it's a really nice, intimate kind of a class. You will have friends for life here, so be really positive when you come in, and also be present. Go to those lectures, you know, even if it's 8 in the morning, really be aware of where you are and how lucky you are to be here, and you're just going to have a great time.
The number 1 tip I was given by second year when I was beginning first year was, as soon as you learn a new concept, go home and really like solidify that in your brain. So whether it's watching YouTube videos over and over again, just make sure it's really solidified, and doing worksheets, amazing. You know, they're so good. Second tip would be just ask questions if you're not sure. People around you are so helpful, you know, or if it's making a group chat and asking questions in that, if it's more intimidating to ask your tutor. But everyone, the staff is so friendly, so don't be afraid to ask questions. I know there's definitely a lot of things I was unsure about. Thirdly, definitely don't let the stress get on top of you. Do things for yourself as well. You know, people will say, oh, you don't have a social life, but you still can definitely have a social life. Get out and about. Don't forget to have a good time as well. And that's what made it really bearable getting through first year.
That's really a very good point, is to have fun as well. And Ebony?
My number 1 piece of advice is it's okay to have a bad day. Like, it's okay to have a bad clinic session. It doesn't mean that you're a bad student. It doesn't mean that you're failing the course. It just means that that day wasn't great for you. It's not a big deal. Like, you can move on. My second tip would be, like I said, like, just get some good friends. Even if it's just 1 or 2 people, like, it just makes it a lot easier knowing that you're not alone and you've got other people that are going through the exact same thing as you. And thirdly, I think,
Would you think having that Facebook page was important?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I think don't be afraid to like speak out in class if you don't know something. Like I said, ask questions and check Canvas every day and check your emails every day. Just be organised.
And I guess from one of the academic staff members that will be teaching you as well, I really want to reinforce what your peers have said here is completely correct. And make sure you are, what was that? Positive,
Productive,
and present. Wonderful. Good luck, everyone. All right.